when looking at the long-running animated adult cartoon by Matt Stone and Trey Parker, South Park. The biggest conspiracy is how it continues to stay on the air. From running gags of school shootings to having the spirit of the beloved crocodile hunter Steve Irwin appear in front of Satan with a stingray sticking out of his chest. This show has done it all, and while many have tried to cancel it, it continues to stay on the air for over 20 years. If the transgender jokes and racial slurs didn't get them canceled, nothing will. The conspiracy we'd like to focus on today is actually one that has seemed to fly under the radar for a very, very long time. It involves one of the show's most recognizable characters, Kenny McCormick, and the South Park creators' favorite and longest running gag, killing him just to bring him back to life an episode later. Face it, even if you have never seen an episode of South Park, chances are you've probably heard this line.
Oh my god, they killed Kenny! You bastard!
Oddly enough, every time Kenny is brought back, or resurrected if you will, no one seems to remember his passing.
Remember this time! Try and f***ing remember! Oh my god! Holy shit, dude! Dude! Is he? Oh Jesus!
They have no recollection of Kenny's death, and when they see him again, it's like nothing ever happened. This is true for almost all the South Park characters except one. Only one character knows this game of cat and mouse with the mortality of his friend, and his name is Eric Theodore Cartman. This is the Kenny Cartman Immortality Theory idea. We're still working on the title, bear with us.
There's also the lawsuit of the little boy who died in your park. The family's entitled to the rest of this.
What, Kenny? He dies all the time!
What, Kenny? He dies all the time!
Killing Kenny McCormick was a staple of South Park. However, it seems in recent seasons, this has diminished. Oh, there was a time where Kenny would die in horrific ways in just about every episode in the earlier seasons. Season 5 would give viewers Kenny's permanent death, and the staple would seemingly come to a close. Of course, he would die in other episodes in future seasons, but the death per episode ratio was severely diminished. Killing Kenny McCormick began to feel like a chore, according to creators Matt and Trey. They stated how Kenny was more of a prop to them than an actual character. It was getting difficult to come up with new and creative ways to kill him in every episode. For a character like Kenny, it's almost impossible to develop him. While he actually does have lines, you can't understand them, as what he is saying is overly muffled by that iconic orange Parker coat, hence making his voice inaudible. They've done all that they could have done for this character, but it's no secret that his strongest attribute is to be killed, and Kenny is damn good at it. So the question I have is, why does nobody except for Eric Cartman remember this?
Hey, wait a minute. What? Remember that time Fonzie jumped over the buses with his motorcycle? Oh my god! They killed Kenny! You bastard! Now that's what I call a sticky situation. You dumbass Cartman, that's not the way it happened. Yeah, dude. Kenny just died 8 hours ago from that monster. How could he have died back then, too? Oh yeah, I guess that doesn't make sense.
Why is it that for the hundreds of deaths and resurrections that Kenny faces and we see, no one but him can recall them? Of course, Kenny himself remembers, his family remembers as seen in Coon vs. Coon and Friends, and it is with great belief that the member berries remember as well. So why is Cartman different? Why is he the chosen one? Postulate 1. Ashes to ashes. The largest support for this theory and evidence found can actually be viewed in Season 6, Episode 12, A Ladder to Heaven. This episode is actually part of another South Park conspiracy, but we'll address it at another time. Comment down below if you guys want to see it. Anyways, there is one key moment in this episode that confirms our speculations. Inside, we see Eric Cartman attempt to make chocolate milk. Instead of adding the traditional Nesquik or Nature Valley chocolate powder mix, Cartman adds deceased old Kenny McCormick's ashes. An interesting choice. Eric Cartman mixes his beverage and downs it, resulting in one of the most life-altering events in the show's history. Two things resulted from this chug. First off, Kenny's parents were reasonably horrified after seeing their son's ashes digested by another human being. And second off, Eric Cartman was subsequently possessed by Kenny's spirit, tethering their lives together. Eric begins to share memories of his friend's past life, and it seemed like their consciousnesses were intermingled.
Hey, Kenny. Hey, Kenny. In the ghetto. In the ghetto. He's a boy wearing orange. He's losing his pride because Kenny and his whole family reside in the ghetto. In the ghetto. What did you say? What did you say? I said, shut up, Cartman, you blood-belching vagina.
What is known for sure, though, is that the characters became one that episode. Now, once linked, can they truly ever become unlinked? This leads us to believe that a part of Kenny still survives inside of Eric Cartman, which would explain a large sum of this theory. Postulate 2. New perspective. Succubus was the third episode of the third season all the way back in 1999. This was a fan favorite episode, and there was a lot that went down within these 22 glorious minutes, some of which you probably missed their deeper meanings to. The main plot of this episode is that school chef is replaced as he has quit his job to be with his new girlfriend. The cool, fun chef of old was now transformed to that of a mediocre office worker, and the boys were determined to bring him back to the school. Then, yada yada yada, Loch Ness Monster needs Tree Fitty.
What do you want from us, monster? And the monster bent down and said, I need about 350.
Oh, and Chef's girlfriend who he's about to marry turns out to be a demon. Cool. The boys then sing a song sending the demon back to hell. Now, while all this is occurring, Eric Cartman is at the eye doctor. Cartman's doctor, while referring to Eric only as Piggy,
how's my little piggy today?
Hey, don't call me little piggy.
gives him the news that he now must wear glasses going forward due to his decline in vision. Of course, as a kid, he does not like this and is now victim to many jokes from his peers. He goes in for surgery to fix his vision and is left temporarily blind due to a botched operation. So, in true South Park fashion, the solution to this problem would be an eye transplant using his friend Kenny's frozen head as a donor. Perhaps this is a major part of the evidence that we need in this theory. Cartman sees the world through Kenny McCormick's eyes. Postulate 3. A time before South Park. Before there was South Park, creators Matt and Trey worked on a cartoon short that would eventually turn into the South Park we all know and love, at least some of us love. In 1992, they released the film The Spirit of Christmas. Similar animation, character design, and humor is all present here. But there are some very notable differences. One of these differences confirms what we are trying so hard to prove. As Matt and Trey give us their version of Frosty the Snowman, several characters are being introduced. We see one of the earliest versions of Cartman here. The weight's there, the red jacket's there, and so is his notable blue cap. So what's the difference, you may say? Well, interesting enough, his name is not Cartman here. No, ladies and gentlemen, in the earliest adaptation of the show that we have seen, Trey and Matt name this obtuse, mean-spirited pork ball Kenny.
Frosty killed Kenny! Frosty killed Kenny!
Frosty killed Kenny!
Okay, no big deal really, right? Well, even back then, Kenny must die. The boys give life to Frosty the murderous snowman. Frosty then immediately kills Kenny. So what does this all mean? Postulate 4. Blinded by death. From the earliest adaptations of South Park, it has always seemed that Kenny McCormick and Eric Cartman have always been linked in some kind of spiritual way. over the course of season after season, we've seen this proven multiple times. In the superhero Marvel and the Avengers parody, Coon and Friends, it was confirmed that Kenny's immortality is a result of his parents formerly attending a Cthulhu cult meeting. Because they attended these cult meetings, every time Kenny McCormick now dies, his own mother rebirths him, and then Kenny quickly grows back to the same age he was when he died.
We should have never gone to that stupid cult meeting.
Now, since the only people who can remember Kenny's death are part of this cult, does that mean Cartman or Cartman's mother, Liane Cartman, were in the same cult as well? I would definitely not put this past her, as she was formerly a porn star, prostitute, and model for crack whore. Now, no disrespect to these professions, but needless to say, she was a bit crazy in her earlier days, and being in a cult would fully align with her past unconventional lifestyle. Now, all this leads to many questions and speculations in the world that we like to refer to as South Park. If the result of this truly traces back to the cult, what happens when Kenny's mother dies? Does the process end here, or is she immortal as well? I don't know, man. I'm kind of buying into this one. I love South Park. I always have, from the movie to the pandemic specials. I'm a big South Park guy, and I'm gonna be honest, I kind of feel this one might have some fact to the theory.
This one, I feel like, unlike the other theories that we do, this one has way more evidence and facts behind it.
Okay.
You know, I feel like it's almost a perfect theory, perfectly constructed. I think they might be brothers, though.
Brothers. Wasn't the mother, with both parts down there?
That was just a convenient cover-up, I feel, for the sad
cover-up.
reality being that they are related.
Can I be honest? I think Officer Bob Bradley has always had a big part in this. And I don't know how, but that's just something I'm gonna freeball and say.
Part of this conspiracy or other conspiracies about
This
South Park?
conspiracy and other conspiracies. I think he's just a big part of this. But also, off the cusp, you gotta look at the writers here. Matt Stone, Trey Parker. I think this is something that kind of just happens. I think they just write everything as it goes. But I think once they realize that people were talking about this, they're like, all right, let's just blow this up and just make things work with this.
I'm gonna say this one makes way too much sense.
Way too much sense.
For it not to be a theory of truth.
Can I ask you a question here?
What?
Did you get a haircut from the last video?
I did. It's way shorter now. Do you like it?
Yeah, it looks very nice.
Thank you guys. Comment down below if you guys like my new haircut.
Yeah.